So, in an interview from like a year ago, you told the lovely Alicia Toot that you personally, really, as an individual, love to uplift those people that you admire and appreciate. And in fact, you said quite literally that you aspire to empower other women to build them up when perhaps the industry sort of sets people up to feel some kind of need to compete with each other for like a singular spot, like and
Mhm.
and I wanted you to talk a little bit about that as a concept and how that plays into something like Empower, which you're doing now, which opens spots up to many people.
It true. I think, that is just, and that's where I go. Like, we've never really seen women presented from a female perspective, because I feel like that's a very male perception of how women are in the locker room. And if you walk into any female locker room, I can guarantee you that 95% of the women are there to live. Like, we are each other's number one fans. Like, we all want the whole team to shine, because if one shines, we all shine, right? So it's just not like, it's not reality of how we operate in the locker room. So to present it, and obviously it has to make sense within stories, and I get like storylines and romantic angles. I love all that stuff. I love television. I love that stuff. But I think that there's sometimes like these little nuances that aren't actually accurate in how women think. That's just my point there. But also, I think that that's also a very true thing, in the sense of, there's obviously politics and all these other things that happen, but the reason is because there was, for the longest time, only one championship, one thing for the girls to go after. And if you weren't going after that championship, then you were involved in another storyline, whether it be romantic or something else. And then those were the two spots. So which one were you going to go for? And not everybody can go at the champ. So there would literally be the two people going after the championship and the sidebar, So I think about it like, with the ability to create an all female product, is why wasn't, we have the world heavyweight championship, the TV championship, the US championship, the intercontinental championship, the cruiserweight championship, tag team championships. There's multiple championships for men to go after, and there was literally one championship, now two with the tag division, and now, since the brands would split, like, three. So that opened up a lot more spaces, obviously, for the women to shine in. But I think by an all women's product, there is a potential to open up even more spaces, and maybe perhaps, more championships, or different ways for different women to get spotlighted, to get shined up the same way the men's do, in a real equal space. So we'll see.
The NWA women's roster right now, like actually like all of NWA, it's growing, it's evolving and changing pretty quickly right in front of us as they do their weekly products. And the women specifically have a crop of extremely strong competitors. Camille is the women's champion. Big fan of Camille, like unparalleled look, specifically. And then I think of people like Serena Deeb, who is kind of on loan from AEW, but has held the title for a long time.
Well,
Thunder Rosa, who
how I feel about Serena is, I am unapologetically nothing but love for Serena Deeb. Like, I can't. Everybody knows that she's my favorite wrestler. Period.
and we have Thunder Rosa, who I actually, I do like these little indie shows every now and then.
Mhm.
And I worked with Thunder Rosa a few years ago, and I was like, she's got a star quality, and like felt like the next day she was the NWA World Women's Champion.
Yeah.
The legendary Melina.
Legend.
Legendary Melina. And then we've got some new and really up and coming stars who get showcased regularly. I'm thinking about like Kylie Ray, of course. We know her from a lot of places. Genocide, Lady Frost. And I even saw like a adorable young talent that I love, Kenzie Page, on the show. I wanted you to talk to me about the women in NWA and your thoughts on that division as it's growing right now.
I think our girls are amazing. We have a wonderful crop of women, and women who hopefully, like, are in there for the NWA brand and the NWA women's division as a whole. And Camille, the last 3 years of watching her grow and get to the level that she's at now, where she can honestly hold the women's championship, and she's busted her butt, like absolutely busted her butt. And she checks every box. Like, she has the looks, the power, the strength. She's a natural athlete, but the charisma. And now, as she's honed in, working side by side with Nick, but also with Tom, and she's like training every day and just gotten and grown so much as a wrestler as well in the last, I'd say, 2 years of seeing that growth. And she's running all cylinders right now. So love her as the champion. And Thunder Rosa, I love what she's done with Mission Pro, and I think that she's an incredible talent, and she's also, a huge advocate and pusher for women's wrestling. And I remember when she first became, because I was like, she was kind of like pulled not out of obscurity from the NWA, but I had heard of her name a couple of times and been like, oh, you got to take a look at her. Oh, she's one to watch, kind of thing. And to see her grow and really get to a place where people actually started to take real notice of her and go like, oh shit, this chick's good. And now, like, whatever with AEW too, which is the reason why they actually, would want to take a look at her, is because she is so marketable and good and all of those. She's freaking awesome. Melina, I've had so much history with Melina, and I've always thought Melina is a star. Her entrance, probably the greatest female entrance of all time, with paparazzi and the red carpet and the whole thing. Obviously, I felt like that was one of those moments that was everybody was living every time. Even if it was like I only got to see Melina's entrance, I was fine. I was like, this is everything. Because it's very rare that a woman would get a presentation like that. You know what I mean? So that was, yeah, it was cool. But I love her, and she's a Hellcat, and I know, she's a strong, strong competitor, and the fans love her, and she has the respect of the fans and the loyalty of her fans. And it's just, yeah, she's one of the good ones. But yeah, Kenzie Page, who we just brought in the last set of tape, or they just brought in, I should say, the last set of tapings. I just had met her that loop, and she's so young and hungry, but she's also like trying to put on her own girls shows and doing different stuff like that. And I was having conversations with her, and it's just like, I remember being Kenzie Page, like I can think back to myself in that locker room and going like, I just want to make it so bad. What do I have to do? And pulling, and the humility and the ability to just go like, I love you so much. Like, to me, like, and to whoever, like, I love you so much. I respect you so much. Thank you for everything you've done. Will you please watch my match? Please tell me what to do. Like, that is a very genuine place to come from. And I would always do that. And I would do that up until I was even as I was working on television at Impact, at Ring of Honor, all these things, I would pull whoever that had made money in the business, that had been there to please tell me what to do. What am I doing wrong? Don't tell me I'm great. Anybody can tell you you're great. Tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can fix it, because I want to make money like you made money, like that. I want to get to that level. I'm trying to level up, so I never was in that ego space of like, oh, I'm good enough. I was never good enough. Still never good enough, so I don't think, if you ever think that you're the greatest, then you should probably stop.
You're never going to move forward. That's for sure, because you're going to stay stuck in that place. There's no growth opportunity.
Yeah. 1,000%.
So,
and Genocide, we love, she's just awesome. Sorry, I just went off. I was like, I can't, who else am I talking about here?
Yeah, like
Kylie Ray, we just brought on, or they just brought on, Billy just brought on. I say we, because I feel like we're all in it in the same team, same dream right now, especially because these events are going. But, obviously, yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff.
So in addition to all of this incredible NWA talent that we just discussed, you are actively seem to be scouting across the landscape of women's wrestling, from legends like Lufisto, who I love Lufisto.
I love her so much.
To like young talent, like we just talked about Kenzie Page extensively, and you seem to be really scouting across the landscape of all of these women who are out there doing their thing, trying to like bring them together potentially for this pay-per-view event. And I just wanted you to talk to us about like the backside of that, like what it's like to find these talents, how you're going about it.
Well, yeah, because I recognize that for an all women's show, the NWA, we're still very like we're grassroots and we have our team, our core, but there's not enough female talent on our roster to fill a pay-per-view card. Like there's not enough females there. Um, and so as I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I've obviously said openly that I'm happy to and would love to because I look at the big picture and how powerful of a message it is across the board for everybody to come together for this thing. You know, no company is really cultivating an all female product right now, so it'd be really cool if we could all do it together at least one time, at least for this first one, right? But if we can't, that's all good. I've put out an email, an open email, and I want you to know that I'm not looking at just this pay-per-view. I'm looking at the division and who to add to the NWA women's roster and under that is a NWA homegrown talent because I think that there's opportunities for a lot of these women's opportunities for a lot of these women to go who haven't had a chance to even get dark matches or these AEW dark matches or, you know, WWE dark that haven't even had a tryout or a look at yet. But there's something there. And if I can help with this team of women that I'm going to put around me, the Jazzes of the world, the Lisa Maries, the Lufistos, the Medusas, women like that who can help me cultivate these women and God, how quickly, like how fast they could learn and really create this marketable television character. Plus, they can go. They can really go, you know, and then what a statement that is for women all overall for the NWA women's division. And yeah, I want to make some stars, you know, and I think that God, if whenever I got that, a lot of times it's just about the opportunity, right place, right time, right moment,
100%.
you know, and it doesn't
And somebody
matter
willing to
how
take that chance on you. Like, that's the thing. I think
one
somebody
person
willing to be like, you know what? I don't even know anything about you, but you got passion. You're in, kid.
you
Knock it
got
out of the
something.
park.
You got something. And it really it took that for me. It's taken that for every person who's ever become a star in anything. All it took was that one person, the one right person to say, you got something, you know? And God, if I can do that for one person, even if it's just one person out of this whole pay-per-view, like that would be pretty freaking cool. You know, yeah, that's all. That's all.
So going into this pay-per-view, when I think about pay-per-views and big events like this, there's usually some kind of a development of like storylines and rivalries. And with you bringing in people from like various places, what ability and will you have to kind of bring us those kind of elements?
Yeah, well, obviously I have Gaw TV, which I'm going to be making announcements on. So I do a lot of announcements. I'm going to be doing a lot of announcements there with Val and Lisa. But also the NWA, we're building this series called Race to the Chase that will go out on the NWA YouTube channel, which a lot of developments and stories will come out on there to kind of build up to both events. And I'm also going to be doing announcements via my social media. And, you know, NWA will share, you know, we'll have them on their social media accounts as well. It's really because this is kind of out of obscurity, right? So there's no television on the NWA there's no television leading up to the event, but a lot of these matches are not storyline driven per se, you know. And then other than that, I just got my fingers crossed and praying about it. So
But you know, it's beautiful because it's a grassroots type of thing, you know. And so one of the things that from my side, when I'm listening to you talk about this, Mickie, is that like, if this is successful, when this is successful, and what the interesting thing about this is success. There are people who think that 1 million viewers on TV is not a success. You know what I mean? So success is so subjective. Like, if this is successful, when this is successful, it's going to happen because of a demand and a desire by people, grassroots, to support what they love, which is women's wrestling, support individuals they love, which are the wrestlers on this event, and support you because everybody wants the same thing. And that to me would seem like it would be extra exciting and empowering for you.
Yeah, totally. I think that I have faith like in my heart because I feel like there's been such a ask for this for so long across the board. And uh it's cool that NWA is the first to really step up. And it's really cool that, Billy has put me in charge of it. And for me, and I just hope that I do it justice. I really do because, I want everybody to win. I really do. And I only want people around me that want everybody to win. I think that I don't have time because it's a lot of stress and I got 2 months to make this thing happen. And plus, it's the NWA 73 anniversary pay per view the next night. And that is a tall order to open for, So I go, like, it's going to be a huge, huge weekend already. And this is just like, this is going to be the perfect kickoff to an incredible weekend, and so I just got to deliver. That's the magic. And so I have opened up that email, like I said, for all talent because and I promised that I would give opportunities to people that I haven't seen yet or that I don't think people have truly seen yet. And so I have been doing that, and I'm really kind of hand selecting. I will say this, and because people probably don't realize this, I read and I haven't responded, and the reason why I haven't responded is because there's a reason. But I read every single email that comes into that mickiejamesproject@gmail.com, and I watch every single link to every single match. I've spent hours, and you can ask my husband. I'm driving him nuts. I've been watching everything, because I really am, and I will respond to pretty much every single person once I get to that place as I'm like defining down this card or whatever. But yeah, there's some awesome talent out there, and it's really hard to pick because there's only so many spots on the card, right? And you can't unfortunately, I can't book everyone, but yeah.
I hope that people who are listening to this, because I think that we're going to have like the average listener, and I think that we're going to have a lot of talent who are like, I need to know because I need the inside track on what Mickie's looking for. I think that sometimes in the world, we approach things from this idea of scarcity. Like there's not enough. I'm not going to get my opportunity, and it can create this very aggressive interaction with other people because it's like, no, that's I think we were talking about our dogs right before we started recording this.
Right.
And the one, he's always like guarding the food. And I'm like, it's a whole dish of food and it's never empty, like, and like, let your brother have some, right? And right. I think that like when as people, we approach life like that sometimes, like, I have to push you down the stairs to get my opportunity. Yeah. And it's like, you're talking about a project that could and likely will repeat in some capacity. And you've got viewers, you've got Mickie James watching your tapes. It's okay. Like, yeah. you could discover the next breakout star from this.
That would be so cool. And that's honestly what I'm looking for. And a lot of people go, well, what does that mean? And I was like, I can't really tell you what that means because I don't know it until I see it. And then I see it. And some of these, people might be confused as to why I pick some of the people that I pick. And it might not be people's certain expectations of who they thought I would pick. And that's cool with me because there's a reason why I pick every single person, because it's all, in each spot that I'm kind of choosing and kind of placing them in. And that's honestly an agreed space. Like I want to make sure that they're on board and that's something that they want to do and they're going to be able to feel and actually go out there and perform, because if they can't do it, if that doesn't feel good to them, it's not going to be good, So anyway, it's just, I think that comes, and I feel like I used to think very much like that, and it takes growth. It takes growth and it takes experiences and it takes humbleness and it takes you realizing that it really doesn't have anything to do with you and a lot about that person. Because I don't know if it's a very learned behavior or a very taught behavior that I feel like it takes time to grow out of, in the sense of insecurity, because we're constantly, especially now more than ever, comparing ourselves to unrealistic goals, to to Instagram posts that are completely filtered and made up makeup artists. And then we think that we have to look like that. Nobody looks like that all the time. Like it took me an hour to do this today. Okay. So it never is a thing, So I'm like, and I don't even have eyelashes on. I'm sorry. I should have put lashes on for you.
No, you should not have. No,
but you know what I'm saying?
As somebody who wears lashes a lot, no, you should not have.
Yeah, they're a thing. That's a whole thing. I just, I think that it's easy to put someone down, like if it helps build your own insecure, because we're so insecure in ourselves because of whatever reasons, and it's too long to go on because we'll be talking for hours. But it's easier for someone to put somebody else down, to bring them down to their level, than it is for them to rise up to that other person's level. And I find that people, and so it's a constant tug of war, and until they get safe and comfortable and confident in their own skin, they're always going to be like that. And that's unfortunate, but that's the difference maker, it really is.
We've already touched on the fact that Empower is kicking off this huge pay-per-view weekend for NWA where they're celebrating their anniversary. And I was wondering, do you know any secrets about that anything we need to know about the oh my God, I love.
I don't know. I do, but I don't.
I mean, come on, you live with the champion.
I know. You know that I know. I can't. We are going to be releasing names and matches and all that stuff coming out. And I really want you to watch the Race to the Chase series because we're putting a lot of heart and soul into that. And I am working on a female coming out of Empower. Like I really am working on a female empowered-esque project as well to follow everything that kind of happened going into and out of the pay-per-view with all of these women. And, yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool things happening. I will say that. I can tell you, which we announced actually yesterday, that my song Grown Ass Woman will be the official theme song of Empower. I know you're like, oh, golf clap.
Well, no, I mean, you may remember this. As soon as I heard Grown Ass Woman came out, and I tweeted immediately and was like, looks like Mickie James just wrote her own entrance music again.
Again. Yeah. We were like, are you going to use it for your entrance music? And I was like, maybe. But then Billy was like, I think we should use it for the pay-per-view. I think that's the song. He's like, what, we can rework it just enough so it built it's the big piece or whatever for the pay-per-view. But yeah, I'm super.
And I noticed that an R&B remix of it dropped today.
It did just drop today. The remix with Zahir Music. He's out of the UK. So exciting about that. It's like an R&B remix. I was thinking about doing a remix and trying to find. I was like, oh, it could be fun to do because I know that's all the TikTok has kind of taken over social media. Like it's the number one platform right now for music, for a lot of things. And I don't know that world. I have a TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to use it. If anyone wants to send help, please, it's be really grateful. However,
wait till your son gets about 2 years older. He'll know all of it. He'll be able to explain everything to you.
Oh yeah. Well, TikTok will be dead by then. It'll be something else by then. Remember Vine?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Or what was the other one? Periscope?
I was on Periscope for a hot second. Yes.
I was on Periscope too. I loved it.
Twitch is the way to go right now. I'm telling you, Twitch and TikTok.
See, I don't know the chip. We keep trying to, even with the God TV show, we keep talking about the Twitch platform. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. And I feel like that's a whole nother level. I see other people doing it and they got 3 computers. I can barely open my one.
Okay. There's truth to that. Zicky Dice, former NWA World Television Champion. I went to his house. He's an extremely popular Twitch personality. He has an entire film studio basically set up in his garage. Green screens, screens, broadcasting. It's incredible. But when you're successful there, it's like having your own television channel. Really. So
I know. I know a lot of people are killing it over there. Paige is killing it, or she was killing it over there. Everybody. And I'm like, I just wish I was more like savvy when it came to technology.
I think we'll talk offline about this. It's not that difficult, but
With my fingers, they're too big for the keyboard,
oh my God. One of the really, like, we talked about your music, and I love that. And kind of like, in closing, like, I remembered from an interview that you said that you no longer will compromise for the business, the industry, because it would not compromise for you. And I wanted to ask you, like, because you've come out of something difficult into a really wonderful and empowering personally space. What is it that, as you're looking at your career going forward, that you just will not compromise of yourself anymore for the industry, for the business?
Respect, I think. Respect and humility. Like, I think that I am very comfortable in my own humility, but I won't allow anyone else to make me feel that way anymore, or humbled. Like, I'm so over being humbled. I've been humbled my whole career, and it's fine. I've had some amazing, incredible moments, but I feel like I was shortly humbled after, and whether it was because of myself or someone else, and some of it deserving. But I feel like I'm in a place right now that I'm just over being humbled. Like, I just, unless it's something that I do, which I hope to never do that to where I need to be humbled again. But yeah, or being just made to feel less than you are, like, just over it. Yeah, that's all.
Well, Mickie, on behalf of Wrestling Inc., and myself, certainly, I am so grateful that we had this opportunity to talk. Thank you very, very much for coming on. I am excited to see everything that comes with the road to Empower and everything that happens after, because if there's anybody who's a grown-ass woman who can do this, it's you.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for letting me come on. It was just this was like a really wonderful conversation, and I appreciate the chance to get to know you too, because it's our first real combo. But,
Yeah.
It's exciting. And don't forget, like, the tickets are going to go on sale, and it is going to be Saturday is Empower, Sunday is NWA 73, but we're also doing 2 days of NWA television tapings to follow that you can come and be a part of that as well. So that's very exciting.
Oh my God, 4-day weekend of just incredible boom, 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 wrestling.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
So thank you, Mickie. Have a wonderful day.
You too.